Hey, it's Rich Vision and happy Sunday. I am talking about healing today. Healing, why? Because healing is so important in my life, and it helped me realize my potential, and it helped me develop stronger relationships because I'm working on my healing journey. Healing is so important. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for subscribing. I just want to thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. So let's dive into my formula for healing, right? And these are no hard rules of like you need to do XYZ, but I would recommend them because it's helped me, and I would hope that it would help you to challenge yourself to be more intentional about your healing journey, right? Because healing it's in your hands. You have the keys, you have the power, you have the control. So these are my steps. It's basically a step healing journey. And what's helped for me is, one, define what healing means for you. Healing means a lot of different things for a lot of people. For me, healing means being able to process my old trauma, my old resentments in a way that is conducive to positivity. And what I mean by that is, the way I define healing is like me going to a therapist. That's my definition of me healing, because I'm processing some of the stuff that I've went through in a way that is productive. And that's the reason why I say define what healing means for you, because if you ask someone else, it may mean something totally different, and that's okay. But first, you have to really develop a wherewithal and have an awareness of, like, if I had to define what my healing path should be, it could be saying, hey, me healing is not being resentful to the person who mentally abused me during the pandemic when I was suicidal. So that for me is defining what healing is, and it's different for different situations, and it would definitely depend on definitely not only the situation but your mindset too. This is a key thing to do. Acknowledge it. Why is this a game changer? Acknowledge it. Because if you do not acknowledge that you need healing, oh hey, how are you? If you don't acknowledge that you need healing, good, bad, or indifferent, you will always be stuck in that same hamster wheel. I will speak for myself, and I had to acknowledge the mental abuse. I had to acknowledge me being outed about my sexuality, regardless if I thought it was good, bad, or indifferent. I had to just say, hey, this is what it is. And at the same time, I also realized that I have power to do something about it going forward, right? I'm not playing the blame game of this person did this and this person did that. It's like, yeah, they have part, but at the same time, I acknowledge the part that I play. So acknowledging the fact that this happened, acknowledge the part they played, and 3, acknowledge the part that I played in the situation, because I'm not coming from a victim's mentality. I used to have that mindset, and yes, sometimes that mindset still creeps in today. However, I'm learning that I could acknowledge that this trauma is something that I'm dealing with at the moment, that's taking precedence in my life, that I need to, and I deserve to, and I get to heal from. So that was 2, is pretty much acknowledging the situation, the trauma, everything, the trigger, things like that. 3, call for help. Why? And I know this is gonna sound crazy. My perception is that men get a lot of flack for calling for help because people paint men as they're supposed to be strong, superior, tough it up, take it on the chin. And I've heard that so many times where I am disgusted, and people have been really desensitized to that sentiment of like, hey, if you need, if you call for help, you're the B word. I literally got called the B word for this, sharing my emotions on social media. And it's just, and I digress with that because I believe that if I'm calling for help, it's because I am being proactive in my healing journey. I'm deciding that I need help. Why? Because I want to be here for my family. Why? I want to be here for my legacy. Why? I want to be here for the LGBTQ community. Why? Because I want to be here for the mental health community. Why? Because I have a legacy to build. That is my why. That's why I called for help. I called it, even though I had to bounce between 3 different therapists. At the same time, I acknowledged I needed the help. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have the help. Point blank, period. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't call for help and say, this is the trauma that I'm dealing with it. But I had to take the action step and say, hey, if I want to get better in my healing journey, I need to acknowledge that I need help from someone else that has the knowledge, a therapist. It could be a counselor, maybe even a friend. I'm not judging who you call, ask for help, but make sure that the person, I would prefer it's in a professional field, like a therapist or a counselor. Sometimes with friends is tricky because friends may be able to refer you, but at the same time, they can't really diagnose you. That's why, or they may not have the experience that you're going through to maybe speak life into you. And I've had friends I called for help too, and I'm not saying I didn't get my share of affirmations from them, validation. However, on a deeper spectrum, I had to go to a therapist so that they can reflect back to me what I was going through. So it just depends, in the season that you're in. So calling for help is definitely not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. And I honor you for calling for help because you deserve the help that you need to be here for your legacy and for your family. The next step is to feel the emotions. A lot of times I would suppress my emotions. Why? Because I thought that if I suppress my emotions, that it will make me more of a man. And I put on a mask. I was really hiding behind a lot of my insecurities, a lot of my faults. And I didn't want people to see me as a troubled human being with so much flaws and inefficiencies in regards to my low self-worth, that I acted as if I had the confidence, but deep down I was suffering in silence. And I also realized that I needed to just continue to feel the pain. This recently I was going through this, and I'll get into this after, this journal where I was pretty much, it was like a 20-day journal entry book where 20 days you have these different prompts to work on healing. And at first I didn't really know that was a thing, and I was like, okay, I was hesitant. But I noticed when I got it, I realized there was so much more there was so much more peace within me because I was able to acknowledge all the feelings and feel the anger and rage as I was writing about this, about being outed by a family member. And I just felt the heat in my eyelids and the heat in my body and anxiety in my gut and in my chest, and I just felt all the feelings, and I loved feeling it. I was I felt like I was almost ripping the pages because of how angry I was, and that's okay for me to be angry. Why? Because that's an emotion that I suppressed for a long time, and it's like it deserves to be heard. I deserve to have an outlet for my anger as long as it's productive, right? I'm not saying go and put someone in the face because they hurt you. I'm not saying to do that. I'm not condoning bad bad habits, or bad behavior, or bad conduct. I'm just saying, for me, I was able to harness harness my anger in a positive way. And even in my sadness, I was crying, I was, bawling out because I was hurt, I felt betrayed, and all those things. But I allowed myself the space to continue to. I acknowledged the fact that I needed the space to acknowledge that I was feeling sad and be okay with that, because for a while I thought if I was crying or I was getting mad that there was something wrong with me. And now my perspective has shifted, because of the fact that I've been doing a lot of inner work, right? Because for me, it's not just suppressing it and keeping things in. It's more like, what outlets do I have for me to release that energy, that stagnant energy? And this is a good lead-in for the next step, which is journaling. It doesn't have to be journaling, just outlets in general. Journaling helped me. It really helped put a lot of stuff in perspective of some of my thoughts, and it really helped me gain a lot of clarity about how I was feeling in the moment of, being betrayed, dealing with mental abuse, dealing with suicide ideation, low self-worth. All those things that I journaled through helped me put more things into perspective of like, I'm feeling the feelings, but I want to be able to process my emotions in a way that, again, is positive and also helps me understand myself better and why I'm angry, why I'm resentful, why am I sad about the situation. So it helped me gain more clarity for myself and what I was going through at the moment in time that it happened. And I also realized the gym was also something that was an outlet for me. Yes, it was an escape for me, and yes, it helped me get out of that, get my anger out in a way, and my sadness, and it helped me also not think about it as much, and that was really helpful for me. Another outlet I've used to help me with my healing journey is, besides, I did this dash meditation this yesterday, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like, it was amazing. Like, I was, dancing, 2 days ago, and I was just like, I just felt like that angry resentment, like, lift off my shoulders, and it just felt good to actually move and feel lighter as I was dancing and moving around, moving my body, because I really believe that staying stuck and stagnant is not good for mental health. And I believe in movement. I believe in energy, doing things that would awake myself, like bring me an aliveness, but at the same time help me, put this anger and in a use, in a way, right, in a positive way. Definitely those two outlets have helped me a lot. And this, there's several other outlets besides journaling, but those are the few tips that I have to actually have an outlet for healing. This is a good one. Acceptance. I'm gonna let that breathe. Acceptance. Why do I say acceptance? Because I had to accept the fact that I was outed by a family member. I had to accept the fact that I was mentally abused by a mentor that I revered for 4 years. I had to acknowledge that. And I had to acknowledge, and accept the fact that I had low self-worth because someone called me lazy, and I was told my music was trash and I wasn't going to amount to anything in the music industry. So those things, for me, I had to accept that, hey, you know what? That this happened, right? I accepted that happened. Not judging it and saying it's, and I also forgot to mention, it's accepting without judgment. Because the problem is, when you accept something for what it is without judging it, you have more clarity. I had more clarity. I speak for myself. I had more clarity and being able to say, hey, you know what? Mental abuse happened. Hey, at first I judged it. I'm not gonna lie. I wish it didn't happen. I wouldn't wish mental abuse for anyone to go through, not even someone who I may dislike, because the trauma that occurred within those months that it happened was very severe for me. I was in a position where I was thinking about overdosing on pills because of that situation. And at the same time, I'm learning that I accepted the fact that, hey, this is a trauma, and I have to do something with this trauma, right? I have to call the therapist, process it, so that I can help become a better human being for myself, for my family, and for my community. And the other step, this is gonna be a good step. The number 6 step is forgiveness for self and for other people. Okay, the reason why I'm laughing is I have such a struggle with forgiveness. Like, I resented my mentor for so long after mental abuse. Even today, I still have a little bit of resentment in my soul because of what happened. And at the same time, that's okay, because I'm a human being, and it's okay to feel those feelings for a long time. And at the same time, I had to forgive. Yeah, I had to forgive her. I really. Sorry about that. I had to forgive her. I had to forgive her because sorry about that. I had to forgive her because I needed peace of mind within myself. Right? Not necessarily for her, for her. Like, obviously, I'm forgiving her after the fact that happened, because I want the peace of mind, because I didn't want to walk around with shackles on my feet all day, on my back, with this whole, oh, I hate you kind of thing. And it's like, it didn't do anything positive for me. Yeah, a lot of positive things came out from it: an EP, a whole rebrand, and a whole book, and I'm grateful for that. And at the same time, I learned that, okay, in order for me to really step into my healing journey, I had to really step out of the frame, right? And say, okay, I do forgive you for myself, my well-being, right? Right? But I also have to forgive myself. And that's the thing that a lot of people I've noticed don't really talk about forgiving self, because it's so hard. Because sometimes, it's harder to do both, and it was harder to do both, but for me, it was harder to forgive myself, because I thought that I did something wrong, and I initiated the conversation, so I automatically thought, like, I was a mistake. I felt like, oh, if I would have not reached out to her at 3 a.m. in the morning, this whole ordeal of mental abuse would have never occurred. And yeah, things would have been different, and obviously, like, a lot of things would have been different in my life. And at the same time, I'm realizing that that's okay, right? And I'm also realizing that I'm accepting that I can forgive, so that I can feel lighter within myself, that I can have a better understanding of mental clarity, because forgiveness helped me have mental clarity, and not have to worry about being resentful, being angry, lashing out, and things like that, or acting on my intrusive thoughts about her, and things like that. That wasn't really helpful for my sanity, right? So that's the reason I say forgiveness for self and other people, because once you're able to get to forgiveness for yourself and forgiving other people of what they did to you, knowing that they're a human being, not saying that what they did was okay. I'm not condoning bad behavior. Again, I'm not condoning bad behavior and bad conduct. There's always consequences for people's bad behavior. I'm just saying, don't allow it to take precedence over your life, because you have dominion over your life, and you're the CEO of your life, just as I am the CEO of my life, which means that I'm not going to give anyone power over my life unless it's God. And at the same time, I'm realizing that that's the reason I decided to forgive, because I didn't want to give anyone power over my life, whether it was a mentor, friend, foe, family member, don't matter. I just needed it for me, and I had to let go of this stuff, because I felt like because I didn't let go of stuff, I kept on walking around as if I had, these 100-pound weights on my chest and my back. That's how, like, I had literally, like, saw myself crumbling. I saw myself with my eyes low to the ground. Like, I just saw myself with a defeatist victim's mentality, where now I don't really have that as much because I've done the inner work. And I hope this is resonating with you, because this, for me, has helped me fast track my healing journey, and I'm still on the healing journey. But these are the tips that I would hope that it will help you to get to a place where you can connect with your healing journey, if that's something that you're into or not. I hope that you can benefit from these tips. And the last tip is commitment. Step 8, commitment. And I'll do a recap. So 8, commitment. Why? Commitment to yourself that you are going to, or that you will be able to walk through the healing journey as long as it takes. I'm gonna let that sit. Why? Because if you don't acknowledge the fact that, or commit to your healing journey for yourself, how can you be a fully realized human being with this anger, resentment, projection, with this trauma, your triggers, all of this reaction? I'm not saying that's bad or good or indifferent. I'm just saying commitment is important. For me, it was important for me because as long as it took, I said, I need to heal. When I was going through mental abuse with my mentor, and this is the caveat, I had a friend who held space for me. She and I watched a gaslighting film called Your Reality via Zoom. I didn't know about mental abuse. I didn't know about narcissistic abuse. I didn't have no knowledge of that. So when her and I were watching it, I was like, I started putting two and two together of like, when she said that, she really meant that. Or like when she said that was gaslighting. I had no idea. And she still was holding space for me, sharing videos with me and all these other things about healing through narcissistic abuse. And she was like, how did you fast track through healing? And I'm thinking like, well, you were in my head, and she was the blueprint. She gave me all the tools. I had to use them. And I don't want to go on a tangent, but I had to use the tools that she had gave me to equip me to be able to take my power back and commit to my healing journey as long as it took. And it took months. It took several months. And I can say finally that I do forgive her. Right? I have no resentment for her. Like, if I saw her on the street, I wouldn't punch her in the face. Like, obviously I wouldn't. And at the same time, at one point I probably would have. I'm just being all honest. And at the same time, I know that's not okay, because I was angry at the fact that she made me feel suicidal. And again, it's committing to the journey as long as it takes, because commitment is saying it's not gonna be overnight. And if you're looking at this video thinking that I did this in 2-3 days, you might need to click off this video, and you might have to do a little bit of reframing. And I'm just being honest with you, because a lot of the stuff that I've been through has took years of self-development and personal development, going into different communities, in the men's community, which I'm still am, and I'm getting poured into, and I'm pouring on into other men, and they're helping me reflect things, and they're helping me put things into practice. And that is my commitment to my healing journey, because it's all encompassing. It's basically me wanting to heal, so that again I'm a better person for my family, right? I'm a better person for the society. I'm a better person for community. I'm a better person for myself, right? And I think commitment is so important, because if you're listening to this video and if you gain some nuggets of wisdom, I would hope that you would commit to something, saying, hey, today I forgive the person who did X, Y, Z. Why? Because one, they're a human being. Two, yeah, they're flawed, just like I am, and so are you. You can't say that you have made no mistakes in your life, or you didn't do anybody wrong. I think you could honestly say, you have played some faults. There's no one perfect on earth. At the same time, realizing that when you commit to your healing, it's like saying yes. It's saying yes to yourself, yes to self-love, yes to receiving affirmations, yes to positive reinforcement. You're saying yes to all these positive things when you're committing. I said a lot of positive things when I'm committing, and I'm still committing. This healing journey is long, and it's, I did the 20-day journal, and yeah, maybe this still resentment's still there. At the same time, I honor the fact that it might take a little bit longer than a 20-day journal prompt. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying that to be disrespectful to the journal book and to the author. I'm just saying that it's not always black and white. It's never just 2 or 3 days. It's never just 20 days, and it may happen sooner. I'm just saying sometimes you need the guide. You need to define what that commitment is for you. So these are the steps, right? 1, define what healing is for you. Define it. What is it for you, right? Is it, I don't know, not being angry at someone who maybe abused you? I don't know. Whatever your trauma is, define what that healing journey path is for you. 2, acknowledge it. Good, bad, or indifferent. What is the issue? What's the trauma, right? My mentor said, if you're not real, you cannot heal. And I believe that is so true in my life. I had to be real with people in order for me to get the healing that I deserved. 3, call for help. You don't have to do this alone. No man or woman is a mountain or a valley. Like, it takes a village to really step into healing. 4, journal it out, or have an outlet so you to harness some of that stagnant energy, whether it's the gym or dance, yoga, meditation, like all those things. Have an outlet for healing, right? Make space for it, and by making space, you get to 5. You get to heal. Feel those emotions. Feel the anger. Feel the sadness. Feel all of those emotions. Feel the happiness. I don't know. Feel all these emotions. Why? Because when you suppress the emotions, you don't get to the healing. You don't get to the root issue. The next one is 6, is accepting that the trauma happened. Accept that happened. Good, bad, or indifferent. Right? It may have been a way, change the trajectory of your whole entire life. But at the same time, it may have been a catalyst for your healing journey. And number 7 is forgiving yourself and others, because when you forgive yourself and you forgive other people that have did you wrong, you take a lot of the power that you're giving to other people, you bring it back to yourself. So I would love for you to take back some of that power that you've given on to people because they hurt you, because they abused you, and you said they did this, which I'm not saying is bad, good, bad, or indifferent, okay? At the same time, is learning that I can let go of this. Why? Because I want to be set free. It feels so much freer when I could just let go of these things. I don't have to dwell on it no more. I feel a sense of freedom. I don't I dwell on it sometimes, I'm not going to lie, but at the same time, it doesn't have so much emotional weight on me prior to the past. And the last and final step before these bugs start attacking me is commitment. What is your commitment to your healing journey? And how long are you going to stick to your healing? Are you going to stick to it 2 days from now, 4 days, 5? Have the commitment that as long as it takes, it may take 20 years, whatever. Like, that's okay if healing takes 20 years, but you know what? That's the beauty of healing. You get to define it. You get to have it, based on your terms. You don't have to follow anybody's commitment to healing. A lot of people sometimes, the commitment could be like, you know what, maybe in 2 years I'll forgive this person. And it may take 2 years. It may take longer, but at least commit to the fact that for your own well-being, for your own sanity, for your own mental health. Can I get an amen? Just commit to that healing, because when I committed, I'm a better person for my community, for society, from everyone I walk into, because I've noticed that I'm not, giving people my trauma responses, like, oh, I'm angry because this wasn't it, so I have to take it out on this person. No. It may happen at certain times, but at the same time, it doesn't happen as often. So I'm very grateful for the fact that I'm committed with my therapist to delving into the root issues. And that's my commitment to say, hey, I might not have forgiven you, in 20 days for outing me, but at the same time, I still love you and I still care about you, and I'm not going to let this harm our relationship. And that for me is gold. That for me is my commitment to myself, is to continue to work with my therapist on these different issues, because it's doing something that is in a positive, is helping me to stay in a positive direction. So thank you so much for listening. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, Rich Vision. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Thank you so much. Please support. I will be doing more of these concept videos on healing, forgiveness, and all these things, because I've been through so much, and I want to be able to just share some of my tips and knowledge in hopes that it will help set you free. Thank you so much. Have a great day on purpose, and remember always that you are valued.